How do you finally start writing your essay once you've outlined all of it? In this lesson, you will learn how to write the first draft of your essay by using the boxes and bullets outline as your guide. So let's review the writing process. The first step in the process is planning. Second step is drafting. Next is revising, and finally is editing. We are currently in the drafting process where we'll be writing the first draft of our research essays. We've already written the essay outline with an introduction paragraph and 3 body paragraphs. A common mistake is to write your outline in full sentences and think that this is your final draft. It's actually not your final draft. You will be writing your outline in full sentences, but you need to then revise and edit before you have a final draft. So the steps in writing your first draft are: first, write each set of boxes and bullets out as a new paragraph in full sentences. Then, after each body paragraph, ask yourself, how does my evidence prove my thesis? And finally, write your explanation after each piece of evidence. So I'm going to follow these steps and I want you to watch. First, I'm going to write each set of boxes and bullets out as a new paragraph, and I'm going to start with my introductory outline. So I want to take my thesis and my main points and put them in a sentence or two. So I'm going to say something like, well, it turns out that there are many ways to invent new things, including by studying nature, by accident, and through trial and error. I've just taken my 3 bullet points and added them to my thesis statement so that I'm not being too repetitive. But this is not a full introduction. Actually, I want to introduce my thesis to my readers by giving them a little bit more general information so they can feel comfortable with my situation. So I might try putting them in a situation that they can relate to, maybe by saying something like, have you ever been frustrated when you get to the end of the peanut butter jar and your knife just barely scrapes up what's left? Most peanut butter eaters have had similar experiences, but how many people have actually come up with solutions to this problem? Many people don't try their luck at inventing because they don't know how to start or where to get their ideas. And then I can say my thesis. So I'm really taking my readers from a more general situation and bringing them down to the specific thing that I want to teach them. And I have now a complete introduction. So I'm going to do the same thing with my other paragraphs by writing out my body paragraph 1 in complete sentences. So I could say, just take all of this information, and as I draft, what should I delete and add so my reader best understands what I'm teaching? Well, I'm going to add some things like transitions to make it flow better, and I'll probably delete things that are repetitive, like the same words over and over again. So here I have my body paragraph 1. I've added the things in blue, and I might have deleted some repetitive words. That's my body paragraph 1. But then, after each body paragraph, ask yourself, how does my evidence prove my thesis? So here's my body paragraph, and it's about biomimicry, which is studying nature to design something new. And here's my first piece of evidence, which is the Wright brothers' plane was designed by observing the way birds fly. So I'm going to ask myself, well, how does this evidence prove my thesis that biomimicry is a new way to invent something? Well, I know that the Wright brothers based the airplane body design on a bird's body, so that proves my evidence. The next piece of evidence, George de Mestral created Velcro by studying birds. How does that prove my thesis? Well, I know that Mestral noticed that hooks at the end of burrs helped them stick to things, and so he created Velcro with hooks on the end. And then I also know that anyone can be like scientists by observing. And these are the things that I want my explanations to add after my evidence. So then I need to add those explanations after each piece of evidence. So I'm going to add my explanations in blue, and my evidence is going to be in black. So here's my explanations, and I'm going to add them in blue, and my evidence is in black. And there's my completed body paragraph 1. So here's my first introductory paragraph, then my body paragraph, and if I complete those steps and repeat them for every paragraph, I will have a completed essay draft 1, which looks like this, and my final page. So in order to draft your essay, first write each set of boxes and bullets out as a new paragraph in full sentences. Then, after each body paragraph, ask yourself, how does my evidence prove my thesis? And finally, write your explanation after each piece of evidence. In this lesson, you have learned how to write the first draft of your essay by using the boxes and bullets outline as your guide.